Hi everybody, it's Reagan here. Really happy and grateful to be here, as always. I just want to tune in with some messages that I'm feeling today. There's been a lot of them lately, and I too have been just feeling these waves up and down, all kinds of different emotions and thoughts, and all kinds of things coming up. But through it all, I really do feel so empowered and so blessed and so grateful because I know and I was deeply reminded yesterday that even now, as there is this chaos and this turmoil going on in our individual lives and obviously in the collective, in the world stage, it's all so worth it. It's all so worth it and more. The cleansing, the clearing that's going on, and even more what we're leading into, this new earth, this new awakening. And maybe it sounds cliche, I really have no idea where everyone that's watching this is at right now, but I can really see it and feel it so clearly, and I still haven't felt any fear about what's going on right now. It's an acceleration in our evolution. And even when these lower, denser vibrations do come through, which they do in my personal field, I think it helps to know, and this is just my own testimony, I suppose, that it's all energy. Everything is energy. And so, when I do have these emotions arise, whether it be insecurity or scarcity or lack or fear or anger or rage or sadness or grief, and I've been feeling all these things, I remember that it's just energy, and I don't have to take it so personally because this is happening to everyone. We're all really actually purging this dense energy. And it's very meaningful work, and it's why you're here, which brings me to the biggest point I really actually want to make today is thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank all of you for being here. Because you being here, whether you realize it or not, is making this a better place. We always have those thoughts in the back of our heads, like I should be doing more, I should be doing this, I need to do that to feel worthy. But you are worthy now because you being here, holding the space in your vibration, if you don't already realize how powerful that is, you will, because that's a big part of why we're even here, why we came here, is just to be, just to hold the frequency and keep raising the frequency. And again, it sounds sort of cliche at this point, but it really is true. We really are holding and keeping this high frequency on the earth, and it's a very meaningful thing. We are almost like high frequency gardeners, and again, the harvest will be great, and it already is because you can already tune into it now, and you can already feel it now, especially if you go out in nature, unplug from social media and whatnot for a little bit. It's good to, if you feel called, tune into that stuff, because even just your observation and inner transformation in your own self of these events that are happening is helping the collective, and it's helping yourself, and it's really meaningful work. So I just want to pop in and remind everyone how powerful you are. Truly, no matter what you're doing, you're right where you need to be. Everything is just as it should be. There is a divine order to all of this. There is a divine order to everything, even if we don't always consciously understand it. Again, we can tune into our heart and we will receive answers. Clairvoyant abilities are accelerating. So if you're not already tuning into these kinds of things, channeling information directly from your higher self, it's a great time to start. It's a great time to start, and you will be guided because we are so loved. We are so surrounded by so much guidance and protection. I suppose the last thing, because I am going to try to keep this one short because I have so much to say. I'm just feeling so inspired today, so inspired. I had a really, I feel, amazing breakthrough yesterday, and just myself clearing all this dense energy that all of a sudden I had become aware of. And ever since then, I've just been really receiving these miraculous revelations in my life. We really are so empowered. We have everything we need. This is the time when we realize more and more that we are in what some could call a simulation. And, there's nothing wrong with that. And we're actually, in my opinion, we've been in, I don't know how many layers there are, but just as far as the Earth goes, we've been in a simulation. We've been having these physical bodies, but we've also been lost in the illusion of what the powers that be, or as I like to call them, the powers that had been, past tense, put this illusion over us. And how we perceive that has a big part to do with if we're feeling like a victim or if we're feeling like the empowered, sovereign, creative beings we are. We are so empowered, and we're waking up to this. And again, this is another thing that I have to remind myself every day, usually, many times in one day, that we are not victims. Because if you believe you're a victim, then you will be a victim. Because you're creating that and you're allowing that and you're essentially consenting to that, even if you don't mean to. That's really good information, because once you know that, then you can realize it is a choice. Claim back your sovereignty, even when you're in the heat of something intense. If you can just remember to remind yourself to tune into your higher self in those moments and see what's going on in the world from a higher perception, you will start to really accelerate this evolution in yourself, or so that's what I've noticed. And it's weird because, no matter how much it's a matrix, that's the tricky part, is it will suck you in, and you'll see stuff and it'll suck you in, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, just keep coming back and reminding yourself from a higher angle, from a higher perception, and seeking that higher guidance in each moment. We are in this density, this third dimension, this duality. This duality has a lot to do with it, and it's just popping off right now. I'm seeing more duality than I ever thought I could, and I've always, always been one to pay attention to all these dualities. And now it's to the point, where everyone wants to label everything as right and wrong, and it's just getting so complex, and there's so many different dualistic fractals in every single event at this point that it's kind of hard to even say, because there's just so many different truths. So I hope that was helpful. I love you guys all so much. I love all of you. I'm truly honored to be here. I'm thankful that you are all here. There's no doubt we are all here because it is this time, because this is the Grand Awakening. And don't be discouraged, because if you tune in and you see what's becoming, ultimately, you see what's truly becoming of all of this, why this is all happening, why that we have to purge this dense energy out, why we have to play this whole story out, why everyone has to go through this. If you really truly feel in your heart where it's leading, you will know that it's all worth it and more. As an individual, another thing I've been reflecting on is how, when I look back in my life, the most painful situations, the most heart-wrenching betrayals that I have felt and experienced in this lifetime, they took me to this this bottomless void, you know, in that moment. But when I look back upon that, I honestly, truly can see more than ever that that was a blessing in disguise. All those things that happened are making so much more sense than ever, because, you know, without those experiences, it would have taken me way, 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 way longer to get where I am now. And so I'm truly grateful that I went through those tribulations. And, you know, it's the same thing even with this collective. And that's why, again, you know, I can sit here and truly, you know, see and feel and express this beautiful world that is becoming, despite the fact that many still can't see it now, even though it is here now. You can tune into it. So again, thank you for listening. I love you all so much. Keep being you. Be you. Be you, you know. We can't be afraid to express our true selves in this time. You know, people are going to judge you no matter what, in a sense. So you might as well be who you really are and say what you really feel. And don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to be weird and authentic. If that's what your heart is calling you to do, there's a reason. And again, that's also something I have to remind myself every day. We are all who we are. There's a reason that we're all different. We shouldn't have to compare ourselves. God made us different for a reason. Just shedding this programming, shedding these old belief systems, shedding these old dogmas that have kept us in bondage. It's time to be free. It's time to be sovereign. It's time to empower ourselves. And you are doing just that every single time you observe something, every single time you feel an emotion and you just let it happen. You transform it in your energy. That is so powerful, more than we even know yet. And yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say for today. Again, there's just all these different things running around in my mind, but I'm just really grateful to be here. I'm just feeling so much love and so much inspiration. I can already see so many beautiful seeds that are sprouting because of this. And we truly are creative beings. So we will use this for the fullest advantage. We will grow from this pain that we are seeing right now. We will accelerate because of this. It is evolution. Sometimes evolution is chaotic. Sometimes evolution is messy. Or so it would seem to our conscious mind. But when you tap into your heart, you will truly see this is all part of it. And there's no death that you can't or won't be reborn from. And I don't just mean physical death, and that's true too. But even in your own life, you know, sometimes when we shed these old paradigms, a part of us kind of dies, but you will be reborn anew, no matter what. Life is eternal. Life is infinite. It's very obvious. Don't let the intellect make you a fool. We know in our heart life is eternal. We are eternal. We are going on, and we are creating this beautiful story, this art. It's an art. Life is an art. Everything is an art, creation. Okay, thanks again for listening. I hope you all have a most blessed, beautiful day, and feel that sun that's coming through. Feel that light that's coming through. Be that light that's coming through, because it's in your DNA, which is activating more and more every single day. We are blessed. We are loved. We are worthy.